You are on live to GTV Africa, live from our studio. As I said earlier, that I'm going to be bringing the third day of the hearing to your doorstep. And now I'm here to bring you the third day of the hearing. Don't forget, the Committee on Finance House of Representatives is looking into the alleged discrepancies and allegations of one or two things in the committee's job to look into NIPP and to find out details on what happens. Remember, they too dealt with issue of megawatts that are being distributed, TCN, and what things that happens in the day two. You are having knowledge of it. You can check back to some of our video posts, our live streaming earlier, for you to have knowledge of it. But now let's get into the third day and see the things that happens on the third day.
Line to evacuate the power from Azura. Yes, and Nigeria has funded that provision. We provided funds. This National Assembly has provided funds in that regard. Yes or no, sir?
Reasonably, sir.
Because of some challenges.
The line was never abandoned, sir.
Is it completed?
It's not yet completed. Because of right-of-way issues. If the chairman will allow me to explain, that's why I want to explain so that the House can be properly informed. So as they have said, when that contract was signed, the right-of-way issues was not resolved. This 350-kilometer line that traverses 3 states, Edo, Ondo, and Osun. So this particular transmission line passes through a very difficult terrain that every community along the line route is claiming ownership of that land. So GCN carried their own studies. By the time this solar power station started testing, GCN discovered that if you are to go at the rate at which that transmission line is going, GCN might not be able to evacuate both Global Power Station and Azura fully. So GCN went into its own record and discovered that we can do a 14-kilometer turn-in, turn-out with Ajaokuta because there is a line that passes through that terrain. It's about 14 kilometers to that power station. So we did studies and discovered that we can quickly turn in that line in and out to evacuate Azura. Those 14-kilometer lines, sir. This line does not even take PCM more than 6 months to construct. Immediately we move in to carry out route survey of that line. The community, the over community on that line, there are a lot of, we have about 7 communities that suddenly sprang up, each claiming ownership of that line. And they started fighting each other for almost 2 good years. We are not allowed access to that line.
KCL, please. Please, I mean, you are making statements, very bogus statements that are difficult to defend. How can 7 communities suddenly sprung out? New communities just sprung out from nowhere.
That is the truth, sir. I am part of that survey, so I know what I'm saying.
So when you did the survey, those communities never existed?
It was more or less like a virgin land. Virgin land, yes, sir. When we did that survey, the right of way.
Overnight?
Yes, sir.
Engineer,
14.
Please, engineer, please. You can't be talking to us as if you're talking to us. You're talking to Nigerians. I'm sure that negligence or how do you describe your action? That you sign an agreement without knowing that people are going to claim right of ways and all of that?
Sir, none of us on this table was there when this agreement was signed.
But you are there.
We met and we were trying to manage that.
Oga. You can't run away from it. You said you are part of those that did the study.
Yes,
You
sir.
said so, sir.
Yes, sir.
And now you said none of you were there when the agreement was signed. Those are contradictory now.
Which one comes first?
You were there when the agreement, you were part of the, you see, the issue is this. Mr. A wants to provide power to Nigeria. Nigeria, before we can sign that agreement with Mr. A, Nigeria needs you, your expertise, to say that you can transmit or you have a line to transmit. You then provided advice to Nigeria to say the power that is to be provided by Mr. A will be evacuated by you. Will be evacuated by you. Upon that, you go ahead and carry out a study. You did the study, you awarded contracts for the construction of that line. You even had variations of that contract. If I'm wrong, you should say so. You even have variations of that contract. That line that was meant for you to, that line that was supposed to be constructed by you to evacuate the power from Azura, that line has not been completed up to today. But here we are taking power now, according to you, from Azura, using another line. Benin, something Osogbo, you said? Abi? Benin Osogbo, sir. That's what you are using to take the line. And I asked you a very vital question. The Benin Osogbo was meant to take 600 megawatts to the people. There is no way, and I asked you, please clarify, that Benin Osogbo can take 600 plus 450 at the same time.
No, we can't do
So this is the point, sir. So which means, no sir, sorry sir, MD, hold on sir. You have your time. Which means, sir, for you to take 450 from Azura, it is either Benin Osogbo is not on, or for you to take Osogbo, is either Azura is not on. Educate us.
No sir, yes sir. We are going to take capacity of transmission line. It can carry 600 megawatts. That's the parameter of the transmission line. It doesn't mean that it is carrying 600, but it can carry 600. So it depends on which load we have before Azura. So that's why I want the honorable.
No. What I want you to clarify, sir, is that Benin Osogbo was constructed. Benin Osogbo line megawatts.
Correct.
From which power station?
Not from power station, from Benin transmission station.
Okay, from Benin.
Yeah.
It was meant to carry 600 megawatts.
Yeah.
Long before Azura came into being.
Yes.
Abi?
Yeah.
Now, when Azura was to be signed, you are asked to carry a study.
Yeah.
On how you want to evacuate the power, the 450 megawatts. Correct, sir? Is that correct, sir?
Yeah.
You did a study, and you then agreed that you are going to construct a new line. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah.
So the question I'm asking is that line, the new line, is it ready? You said no.
Yeah.
Because of the challenges of right of way. Abi? So I'm now asking, how are you able to combine both the 450 and 600 on one line that has capacity only for 600?
Yeah. Let me give you one example, sir. A vehicle, a car.
Yes.
That is carrying 5 people.
Yes.
Now, in that car, it's only you and your wife who are riding that vehicle. It means it's only 2 of you. But the capacity of the vehicle didn't change. It can always take 5 people.
Yes.
Now you have been using it. Later now, you have 3 children. Those 3 children can also be accommodated inside your vehicle. So I want you to understand this philosophy.
CEO, you are comparing authority.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
No, I don't understand to be on the same line.
You wait. You are comparing that is between Benin Osogbo can only carry 600. And what is coming from Benin transmission station is 600.
No, sir.
Okay.
That's why I give this example where everybody can understand what
So
the Bible
what is coming from there?
What is coming from Benin?
That's what
What's coming from Benin?
What is coming from Benin, sir?
What is coming from there?
You know, yesterday, story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You go ahead.
I try to give an example of how power flow in the transmission line system. The line is designed to carry 600 megawatts. It does not mean it's carrying a particular amount of megawatt at every point in time. It depends on the amount of power to push through it. So, but the line cannot carry more than 600 megawatts.
Yes, sir.
Now, relating to Azura issue.
No, Mr. Adeoye, what?
I'm not trying to answer your question. I
No,
know.
wait now. Don't go to. I mean, the question he asked you is that 600 line was there before. Long which power from which power station?
Carrying power not from power.
From where? How many megawatts?
And it can be vice versa.
How many megawatts?
They can equally carry power from Osogbo to.
How many megawatts? How many megawatts?
It's designed to carry 600 megawatts.
So how many is now carrying? What is it carrying now?
Okay, wait, Chairman.
So hold on.
Let me ask you this simple question. Using the analogy.
Vehicle carrying 5 persons, right? Okay. How many persons were in this vehicle before the new birth?
2 people. 2.
Is that for any?
2, ba? Okay, translate that to the megawatt. Translate the 2 people to the megawatt.
It's not fixed.
Okay, the fluctuation is between what and what?
Average. At times, you can even carry the whole power flow, you can carry that 600.
Fine.
At times, you cannot carry up to 50.
Very well. That is why chairman is saying if you are carrying 600 sometimes, that's a simple question. You get a question. Can I come again?
I got the question correctly.
The chairman is now saying
What is chairman?
if you were carrying sometimes 600, sometimes 300, how are you now able to carry another 400 in the same line?
And your example of a family with a car with 5 children, before giving birth to a husband and wife, assuming that the family gave birth to 6 children, and they still have this car, what will happen, sir? And they must carry the people. What will happen, sir?
You can increase the capacity of the line. You can change.
No, use the car.
Eh?
The car.
The car, you have to go to a penalty.
So have you got a
You know why I asked, sir? You know why I asked that question, sir? Hold on, sir. You know why I asked that question, sir?
No, sir.
When you use comparing apple and orange,
Yeah.
I asked that question because you have a capacity of 600. And if you knew that the 600 you have was enough to carry Azura and Benin, you would not collect money from government to construct a new line.
No, sir. Sir, Honorable Chairman, it's not the way we are just working like this. It's more than that.
Yes.
People have to understand how a transmission line works,
Yes.
and what we call the grid in the country. We need a lot of flexibility. Not that because you have that line, you will not expand your grid. Grid is always, more population is coming on, more places are built, more demand, so there is no way it will be static.
Yeah, but I want to put.
You have a way to evacuate Azura or not, you need to expand your grid.
MD, I want to put it to you, sir, that when Azura came to, and another additional 450 came to be, one line must suffer for the other to exist.
This line, they didn't know Osogbo. We are not
Honorable members want.
I just want to know, are you able?
It's not what we want.
Are you able to?
Nigerians, we're talking of Nigerians. Okay, if you allow me to explain it. Yes. Sorry, sir. That line, the Benin Osogbo that the MD talked about, is 600 megawatts in capacity. That line either take load from Osogbo to Benin or Benin to Osogbo vice versa. So that line was now turning to Rehoboth power station, that is the Azura, in and out, meaning that you have another line now, the same line that be connected to Rehoboth can now take supply to Benin and can take supply to Osogbo, but they are both designed for 600 megawatt each. Now in Rehoboth you have another power station, which is the one that belongs to the NIPP AC. So you now have two power stations, one 450, which is the Azura, and the Rehoboth one, I think around 400 or so. I cannot. So of course, definitely, the two power stations cannot be evacuated at the same time. At the same time.
That's exactly what we are doing.
Yes, sir. The two power stations cannot be evacuated at the same time.
One must wait for the other.
One must wait for the other. But because of the PPA, sir, because of the PPA, one has PPA, the other one does not have PPA. The one that has PPA is always given the priority.
Which one has PPA?
The Azura.
Why the other one does not have PPA?
Yes, sir.
Why is PPA? Excuse me, sir. Why is the one of PPA so important than the one that does not have PPA?
Because of course every Nigerian knows that the one that has PPA is take or pay. Whether they generate, so they don't generate, Nigerians have to pay.
So the other one that does not have PPA is that can also generate 400 or 600 cooler because we have to service the one that has PPA.
Unfortunately, it's almost like that.
Hold on.
Until the line is completed.
Mr. MD, sir. MD.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us how much we have invested on the new line that was supposed to carry Azura? How much you have collected from national ports?
No, which of the line? There was transmission line. The amount, the original contract sum was US dollars 33,455,815.91. Then the Naira portion is 3,796,246,066.76. Now, total amount paid to date is USD 33,432,399.04. This money is in the LC. Then the Naira portion is 1,080,493,737.10. Now the amount outstanding is USD 23,416.87. Then the Naira portion is 1,160,254,697.68. And level of completion is 60%. That's where we are now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
This was the original line and present it to us, please.
It's okay.
Sign, put your name, sign, and present to us. So this contract was signed in 2010. Date of contract award 2010.
Yes, sir.
Duration of contract 2 years.
Yeah.
So ought to have ended in 2012
Yes, sir.
or 2013 at most.
Yeah.
Now you review something that was supposed to be for 2 years. We now review it now from 2013 to 2023.
Yes, sir.
When the original contract was meant for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
So why do we have to give it another, how many years? Another 10 years? Why?
Yeah. This is the way the projects in transmission company are run because of lack of funding. If you look at these projects, they are highly intensive projects. They are in billions. But you will see when the budget comes, the allocation 100 million. If you have a project that is around 13 or 14 billion, And every year you're allocating 100 million on that project. Mr. Chairman, if you calculate, it will take you more than 20 years to finish that project. So this is what we are facing. We have projects from 2001. They are still running in TCN because of poor funding.
Okay. I'm sure you now have the details of what I want to ask. Since we want to see the budget allocations from 2010 to date to 2022, the budget allocation. You can help me provide it.
It can be provided, sir.
Yeah. I want to see the budget allocations and the payments. How payments were made.
No problem.
With all the details of payments to the contractor.
Yeah.
And the certificates of completion before payment for each of the payments. We want to see the state certificates. Is it you or Ministry of Works?
No,
are you the one or Ministry of Works?
TCN.
TCN.
Yes, sir.
So you are the one that awarded the contract, you are the one that pays.
Yeah.
No checks are balanced.
Sir?
No checks are balanced.
Nobody is checking you.
Is the Ministry of Works or Ministry of Power? Is Ministry of Power involved?
We are under Ministry of Power, but we are a parastatal.
Ministry of Power, is they involved in this?
No, you see, what normally, if we have such projects, the ministry is involved when we are looking for initial approval. It is the Honorable Minister that will take it to the Federal Executive Council. Once the Federal Executive Council approve it, they send the paper to us. It is TCN that will sign the agreement. It is TCN that will provide the project. It is TCN that will make all the payments.
Okay, sir. If I understand what we have heard from you,
we will provide.
What we heard from you is that the power line that was meant to take take power from Azura is yet to be completed because of lack of funds.
Yes, sir.
However, in order to have the PPA, because Azura has a PPA power purchase agreement, while all others along the route don't have power purchase agreement, there's always a priority to take power from the Azura, to take the power from Azura and transmit to Nigerians. This is your submission to us. Is that correct?
It's correct.
So what it means to us or to Nigeria is that until we are able to provide complete the power lines before all other power stations, before their power can be evacuated completely. Is that correct?
Fully.
Whether fully or partially. The point is that
it makes difference.
Sir?
It makes difference.
No, sir. The point is that
no, to we
you have
it makes difference.
Hold on. The point is that we have signed an agreement with take or pay. Whether we take it or not, we must pay $33 million monthly. And in order not to jeopardize that take or pay, in order to service it, you have decided to be evacuating the power to the detriment of the other ones that have no agreement. That's the meaning of that's your submission. So, sir, yesterday you were not here, and your officers presented some documents to us. You have your documents for this? In the evacuation. What? You have the paper before this document?
Yes, I have it.
Can you explain it to us, what it means? Take January under capacity. What is the meaning of that?
You see, if you look at the table, we write months, embedded capacity, embedded early average capacity, TCN limited energy exported, TCN limited energy equivalent as capacity, TCN limited energy imported. You see the table started from December, which is 2017.
No, let's go to 2018, sir. 2018. They told us yesterday that the 2017 was test run.
Okay.
So we are not dealing with that. So let's go to 2018.
Yeah.
Under capacity, megawatts per hour.
Okay.
Just tell us, capacity means capacity of the plant or what?
Yes.
Is it capacity of TCL or capacity of Azura?
No, that is no TCL. It's Azura capacity.
Azura capacity.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And energy exported means what, sir? Energy exported.
this is the energy they send out.
Energy they send out
Yeah.
to the grid.
Yes.
That's the one you receive.
Yes.
So how many megawatts is that? The one for January.
The one for January, that one is still running. It's 5.33 megawatts. 5.33 megawatts.
It's
another this.
5.33.
Yeah. If
Not
you
up
the
to,
table,
sir?
up to April is test. So it's better we start from May.
Up to
April
is test run.
test run.
Okay. No, that's not that one. Embed is responsible for payment. When Embed comes, we take that. So we take from April, sir.
Yeah, from May.
Okay, from May. Okay, so 210,878.800. What is that in megawatts?
283.
283.
Yes, sir.
Can you note it, Clark? 283 May 2018. June. In June, sir.
In June is 299.35.
299.35. The next month, July, sir.
246.06. 246.06.
August, sir.
August 206.40.
206.40. September.
180.34.
October.
186.77.
November.
319.50.
December.
346.47.
Okay. Now let's go to energy exported or imported.
Energy
Energy imported.
Yeah.
Meaning what?
Meaning, if for example they are not generating, they have to import some energy back for their station service.
Okay, the one you
Auxiliaries.
the one they use
Yeah, they use.
from the grid.
Yeah, like auxiliary.
What do you mean by auxiliary? The one they use from our grid
Yes.
when they are not generating.
Yes, sir.
So where do you take the light from?
Which light?
Where do you get the light, the power that you give them if they are not generating?
Inside the grid. It's all, every generating station is coming to the grid.
Okay.
So
So
it's a pool.
so do you now pull from somebody that has no PPA
Yes, sir.
and give to the person that has PPA?
No. Every generation station is connected to the grid.
I know.
So when you are giving a place, maybe the light you are getting here in Abuja, it may not be from Sororo, it will be from Ekbil, because it's all connected and
National grid.
national grid. So that's
We are saying the same thing, sir.
Okay, sir.
We are saying the same thing.
Okay.
Clark, give us water. They also take from the national grid.
Yes.
If they take from the national grid, Nigeria is also entitled to take money from them in dollars. Because we are paying them in dollars. I mean, as a Nigerian, is that as a Nigerian?
Correct, sir.
Thank you. Okay, it seems you have done your calculation,
Yes,
the
sir.
one you are reading to us.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a copy?
We have already given secretariat.
No? Oh. Okay. Oh, is it this one? 2018. What's the difference between NBET hourly average capacity and TCN metered energy?
Yeah. Yes, I will allow the market operator to explain this. Thank you.
Yes, a powerful market operator.
Meter capacity is this: every month the NCC monitors the EDG generated by Azura, and at the end of the month Azura and NCC with NBET will do a reconciliation based on the content of that agreement they signed to come out with the capacity agreeable that this is what they have offered, given some availability event as contained in that agreement. While that capacity we have here is our meters, which is the trading point at between transmission and Azura, gives us this energy, and to say what capacity gives us this energy, we converted that energy to capacity, and to have